Hey everyone, and thanks for joining me with another video on KL Tech Videos. Today I'm reviewing a product that's actually been out a little while, but one that I've only recently come into contact with, and I didn't see many in-depth videos about this on YouTube, and thought maybe we could do something with this. This is what's called a travel router. It's from GL.iNet. The Slate AX, it's a Wi-Fi 6 gigabit wireless router, which can be powered by USB-C, which is great because that means you can attach it to things like power banks and all different hosts of different things. And specifically the model GL AXT1800. This baby's packing a few things. So you've obviously got the Wi-Fi 6. It runs OpenWRT, which is great if you're a power user and you like your customization. It has three 1 gigabit Ethernet ports. It uses USB 3.0, so you can connect other USB modems up to it if you want like cellular connectivity, external hard drives. Obviously, it comes with like VPN encryption, so you can add your favorite VPNs onto this. Has IPv6 support. You can run this in through the Tor network, and it does come built in with AdGuard Home, unless you've obviously got a VPN connecting to your home server like I have, which already have AdGuard Home. That's a game changer too. So out of the box, very quick setup there. But let's do a bit of an unboxing here while we're on the subject of the matter. So in the box, we've got the guides. It'll also come with a QR code to do your registration with. We've got the power cables. So let's have a look. So we've got the European plug it comes with if you want a European plug, which is great. We've got the power brick itself. We've got the all-important UK plug because that's where I am. And it comes with a nice thin Ethernet cable, which I assume is Cat 5 or above, considering there are gigabit ports on here, but we will test that out. Then the last part of the puzzle is the travel router itself. Believe it or not, this is actually the back. Let's get this box out of the way. This is the back of the router. You've got your 3 gigabit Ethernet ports here. One is typically used for the WAN, where the internet comes in, and then you've got your 2 LAN ports, but you can customize this WAN to just be LAN as well, because it has a host of features on it, which we will dive into. You've got your USB-C power in. Let's get that out of the way. You've got your USB 3. You've got your wireless to antennae, which I can tell you right now does give you some great signal. You've got, I believe the reset button is here. And then you've got this mode button here, which you can actually customize inside the settings when you launch this thing and you get into it. You've also got the micro SD card slot here, which can support up to 512 gigabyte SD cards. Yeah, and you've got this LED on the front here as well. So all in all, let's see if the camera focuses. So all in all, it's not a bad little buy. This retails for around £100. I picked this up on Amazon for about £95. Didn't get this free, by the way, just to be completely open and honest with you guys. Paid for this myself, and this is also not a sponsor. I say we power this baby up and check it out. Now, one of the cool things about this is that you actually don't need to plug this in via Ethernet to actually configure this from the get-go. You could literally do this straight from your mobile phone. So we're going to have a little look at this now and see what we can do with this. Now I've actually hooked this up via USB-C to my laptop's USB-C port. So it can run on a variety of different power sources, from power banks to USB. It requires 5 volts, 4 amps at a minimum. So if we jump over to the tablet here, and you'll be able to see exactly what I can see, which is the SSID, the Wi-Fi name of our portable router here. And we're going to connect to the 5G version of that. Now, as I've already connected to this SSID in the past, and I've reset it now so it's from scratch, you'll find the passcode for that on the underside of your router. So the first thing that happens when you connect to this is going to say connected without internet. and that is the case. However, if you open up a browser and you are connected solely to this, you'll see that you've got a little exclamation mark there, referencing the fact that you're not connected to the internet. If you go to a browser while connected directly to this router, you can go to IP address 192.168.8.1. That will open up the setup menu, and that is the IP address of this router. You can also find that information out on the underside of the router again. When you're on here, you'll be presented with this welcome screen. You simply select your language. We're going to go with English, and then you create a password for yourself. I've already created one in my Vault Warden, and we'll go with that. Once that's done, you'll be presented with the main screen. And this is where you can actually start to see the real features of this router. You've got 4 different options for getting internet access into the router. You've got your Ethernet, which means you can literally hook this up to any network Ethernet port that provides internet access, and bam, there you go. You can also use this as kind of like a repeater. So, for example, if maybe you were in a hotel or a airport, or maybe your place of work where there is Wi-Fi access, you can get it through there. Now, although you can't access captive portals through this, there is a really cool workaround that I will show you in a second, and I'll do that by putting a captive portal on my Ubiquiti wireless access point. You can also tether, so if you wanted to, you could through the USB port that I showed you earlier on the router, you could put your Android phone in. I'm not too sure if iOS works on it. I've tried my Android phone, and I can tether by setting the USB options on the phone to tether, and that gives it an internet connection as well. I've also tethered it to my phone's hotspot. You can get cellular on here as well, so you can plug in a modem. I am gonna find out the specific modems that it requires. I'm not too sure exactly what works, what doesn't, in terms of plugging in a USB cellular modem with a SIM card in there, but it is possible. And then they are basically the 4 ways of getting internet access onto the device. And then obviously internet out is either going to be through the wireless side of things or through the Ethernet side of things. But if you're going to be setting this up on the go, chances are you'll probably want to use this over Wi-Fi more than Ethernet. Depends on your use case, I would suspect. But this is the main internet screen. The next screen we've got on here is wireless. Now, we know we don't have an internet connection, it's telling us that, but we can get back to that in a second. On the wireless, it splits it up quite nicely. You've got the 5 GHz channels and the 2.4 GHz channels down here. Each channel also offers you the ability to create a guest Wi-Fi. So obviously you can have yours, maybe your friends with you, get them connected up to the guest Wi-Fi, so that's absolutely fine as well. And there's a lot of settings in here to change as well, and you literally just, while you're on there, you can literally hit the modify button and then change everything from the Wi-Fi SSD name. It's got several different security protocols that enable you. You can use the latest and greatest WPA3, but not all devices will be compatible with that. So you might want to mix it up a bit, or stay with WPA2 PSK, whatever you're into. You can actually hide the SSID. You can change the Wi-Fi mode and the Wi-Fi bandwidth, and then channels as well. To be honest, the default settings are perfectly fine, but as most access points would have it, changing the Wi-Fi name, the SSID, actually improves a little bit of security, because if there are any malicious actors out there, maybe at the airports or hotels where you are, you can obviously hide the fact that you're using this specific router, and then any vulnerabilities that may come up in the future, hopefully will be mitigated by the fact that they don't know what that is. Just a bit of security advice there. The next screen you've got is going to be the client's screen, and you can see that I'm currently set up with my Samsung Galaxy tablet S8 Ultra. You can block devices in here, you can modify their names and device types, and you can also set speed limits. Be aware, most tablets these days and phones come with what's called randomized MAC addresses, which kind of negates, or it doesn't make this system that great, because it's identifying this tablet by its MAC address, but it is randomized. So unless every person that connects to your hotspot has a static MAC address, or the true MAC address rather. So if we go into settings here and we go to Wi-Fi, and then we click the little icons next to it, view more, scroll down, you'll see that it's randomized MAC, and that's why it's pulling off this random MAC here, 46177EFFAA6F, which is what it's giving here. The next part of this is going to be VPNs. Now, I fully intend on setting this up with my Firewaller over WireGuard, and I will show you how to do that as well. Basically, it's going into the VPN settings of Firewaller. So if we do that here, I've actually created a profile already for this, by the way. Let's get that in portrait mode, pop up. And we jump on here. All right, yeah, because I'm connected to this network, that's not going to work on there. But essentially, you'd go down here to VPN server, WireGuard setup, and you'll see that I've actually got the Slate AX profile set up there, which I will hide from the video so that no one else can access that. And then literally just download it to the tablet that we're on, or device you're using. And then you just go to WireGuard client, add manually, and then you would literally go and find that comp file that you downloaded from Firewaller. And that sets that up nicely. Obviously, you can do OpenVPN if you've got that, and if you want to, connect it to like NordVPN and things like that on here, which I also have, which is something I might look into. And then you've got like applications, things like that. So the applications, there's just a ridiculous amount of plugins and things you can download on here. You've got dynamic DNS. It's it is a really fully fledged router. You've got parental controls on here, 0-tier, tail scale. There's a lot built into it. Then you come over to the network side of things, where you've got the firewall. You can open ports on the router for port forwarding, or just on the router itself for the LAN side of things as well, and move them and access them from the WAN side as well if you want to do that as well. You could do multi-WAN, by the way, so you can have and configure multiple entries of internet and pool them into one, at which point you can choose to use them as a failover or load balancer and then put them in that priority. Got your LAN settings on here, customize your guest network stuff. You've got DNS options on here. When you set up your VPN profile, this will come in and show on here as well that your DNS is connecting over that, at which point you can override any non-encrypted DNS clients to use your DNS as well. You could choose the network mode, IPv6, your MAC address. This is a really important one, by the way, the MAC address option under network, because this is what's going to let you connect to your hotel Wi-Fi, because the first thing you'll do is set the hotel Wi-Fi up on your phone, make a note of the MAC address, like we said, even if it's randomized, and then you will come in here and you literally click manual, and you will type the MAC address that your phone was using, that randomized MAC address, in here and click apply. You can then connect this then up using the repeater mode to that Wi-Fi, and it will then act as if you'd set up the portal on this device, which I'll also show you how to do. You've got the drop-in gateway as well. That's good for if you just basically want to connect this router up to another network, but still use your DNS settings and go through this router. And obviously your WireGuard or OpenVPN, whatever you're using. And obviously you've got your NAT settings, things like that. And then it comes down to your system, time zone. We're going to set up here London, because that's Europe. London is our time zone, even though I'm in Wales. And that's applied. Use your toggle button, the little toggle switch I showed you on the side, the left or right modes. You can literally pick exactly what that does. Does it toggle your AdGuard home on and off, VPN, whatever you want there as well. You've got your logs, security stuff, so you could change the passwords, local ports, if you're going to SSH into this. So some plugins or applications like SyncThing, for example, which recently came up on Reddit from a user that was unable to get SyncThing working on here. Turned out that the version of SyncThing that actually downloads to this thing is on the router is defaulted to internal access only, but not in the way you think. Not just LAN. It literally was putting on the loop address 127.0.01, and you have to go SSH into this, go into the configuration file for SyncThing, and then change the address to all interfaces basically, which is 0.0.0.0, and the port number. That's a little bit of tidbit advice there. I fully intend on doing some mini videos and things like that later on. But yeah, there you go. Reset firmware if you and then you've got your advanced settings, and this is really cool because this opens something called Lucy, which gives you quite in-depth control over this, and it uses the same password. So it's username and root, but the password is the one you set up for your router. And that lets you get into some really advanced parts of this router, and it gives you a lot more access to the firewall, the routing tables, software, startup firmware, network routing switches, diagnostics, the works, which is really, really cool. So that's a nice in-depth view there. And then obviously you can change your theme here. The default theme is white, but to hell with that. Then you've got classic, but as we all know, you're not a pro unless you're using dark mode. And that's really an overview of the interface on this system. But what I want to do here at this point is set up a captive portal on my Ubiquiti access point, and then show you how to connect this baby up as if we were in a hotel or an airport right now, as if we were in somewhere that required you to sign into a captive portal before you could connect this up. So let's do that now. Okay, so I've set up the captive portal with some great effort, might I add, on the Ubiquiti access point and controller. I'm now going to jump onto the hotel Wi-Fi which I've created, and you will see sign into networks just like if we were in a hotel or airport. This page, don't worry about it. This is just simply because I've not put a signed certificate in my captive portal. Your hotel and airport certainly will, but we're just going to click continue anyway. That takes us to my unified guest Wi-Fi hotspot. And all we've got to do here is basically put in the password that I created for this captive portal. In your case, if you're actually connected to an airport or hotel Wi-Fi, that might actually be a voucher or a code or something like that. So yeah, but we'll just go ahead and do this now. So that's the password I've set. There we go. Welcome to Unified Guest Wi-Fi. This effectively now turns on all my internet access on the device. Let's put do not disturb mode on. And you might have been doing this on your mobile phone. I've obviously been doing it on my tablet. To get this internet connection now working on our Slate AX, this is what we need to do. We need to scroll down, go to settings, go to Wi-Fi, find the hotel Wi-Fi, click on the cogs, scroll down, view more, and find the MAC address. Now that's right by there. That MAC address is basically the ticket, the code that identifies us on this hotel Wi-Fi network, and it's what's been granted to us. So if you've already paid for this, like if you're in Premier Inn and you've paid for the Wi-Fi, this is what you've basically been assigned. This MAC address here is assigned from your tablet onto the network, and it's all linked up with that connection. And we're basically going to clone this MAC address onto our travel router. And all we've got to do is make note of the MAC address. So if I just screenshot the screen, and I go into Google Photos, and I use Google Lens to copy the MAC address. Just make sure it's definitely the right 6E4D08352ABA. Yeah, copy. We're going to disconnect from the hotel's Wi-Fi. It's best to come into here and then just forget the hotel Wi-Fi network that you're in, or whatever network you're connected to. So you do that by hitting the cogs and literally clicking forget. And that'll put you in the best position, and then you can connect back up to your GL network. And it just runs a bit better for you. Travel router. and it's going to check the quality of the internet as it always does, and then it will let us on. All right, so we're on. So we're going to go in here, and we're going to open a new window, and we're going to put in 192.168.8.1 because that is the admin panel. We're then going to put in our router's, let's get that back on dark mode, password. We're then going to go to network. We're going to drop to MAC address. We're going to go to manual. We're going to select all, and we're going to paste in our MAC address. We're going to click apply. There we go, that's done. Then we're going to head up to the top to internet, and we're going to go to repeater by here. We're going to click the little connect button, and we're going to wait to see for the Wi-Fi. Give it a few seconds. It only populates the list when it's found all the available Wi-Fi. We're going to hit the hotel Wi-Fi. Apply. Okay. If we go back to internet, so that's looking good to me. Yeah. As you can see, we have joined the hotel Wi-Fi using that cloned MAC address. And if we quickly just go here to fast, yeah, we are on the internet. We are on the internet. And we're getting a decent speed over the Wi-Fi here as well, which is pretty much the normal speed I get at this distance from the router as well. So that's worked really well. And that is how you clone your MAC address across the travel router from whatever hotel Wi-Fi you're on. And as you can see, it's, repeater is in here. That's connected to our hotel Wi-Fi, goes through straight out to our clients, and we're all connected to it. And at this point, you can now have your partner, your kids, whatever, all just connect to this network connections here, your travel router, and they get to share whatever internet connection you paid for or whatever internet connection you had free from them. Thanks for watching. I hope this has been very informative. Please like and subscribe, and check out my other videos. Thank you very much.